resent your brother. I'm being completely serious. Oldest brother, middle brother.
Both of them lived in that room.
That's the room where everything was swinging and going great. I'm going to fucking fill that room with thigh masters and bullshit. Fuck that room, because that room is the room in this house where everything was running like clockwork. And now I'm going to fill it with shit to shove it up his ass.
Wow.
Right?
Perhaps. I mean...
All right, do the Walkman bit. Let's go.
No. Discman bit.
That'd be amazing if you just launched into it like a psychopath.
It's always tempting, right?
It is a great bit. Bass boost. I love it, Gary. You don't have to do the bit, but will you just tell the listeners what features it had? This is the high wire act now.
It had...
What if you were in a movie where this was the swing your character does? You're the clown crying on the inside, but all of a sudden people come in, you got to do the show.
Aren't we amazing at the ability to do that? Haven't you had the worst days of your life? You had a huge fight with
I never get that down.
You never had a huge fight with an ex or something, and
with Jackie's mom, yeah.
Right. Even you could be backstage having a fight. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Jay Mohr. You go out there, there's a smile, and you entertain these people for an hour, and by the end, you're a better person.
You've known me a long time.
Yeah.
I didn't go out there with a smile. I went out there with a fucking chainsaw, like, all right, you want to fucking argue with me before I go on stage? Let's do it.
Oh.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like a middle linebacker that feels like, wow, this team didn't draft me.
Yes.
So I always went on stage like, fuck this. How's everybody doing tonight? Yeah? Look, down on the television. What was the other feature of the Discman?
There was bass boost. There was anti-shock.
It never worked.
Anti-shock.
Did it have that strap where you can jog while holding it in your hand? Sort of? You palm it?
Yeah, sort of. If you were strong enough to carry a manhole cover.
Huh? I fucking killed you. What'd you say?
If you were strong enough to carry a manhole cover.
They were enormous.
Yeah. Yeah.
What? The engineer has taken off his Dre Beats headphones. He's in the house playing with the baby. This is triple overtime, man. This is the Knicks losing to the Nuggets right now on the road. This is good. Because Brian Kellen was like in 55 minutes. I got to pick up my kids, JJ.
He's got kids?
Sure.
Right.
Sundays, he's got kids. Listen. I'm kidding.
No, I know.
Bass boost. I always remember in wrestling practice running with a Discman, and it always would
of course,
anti-shock.
And by the way, when you put it into anti-shock mode, the batteries would drain so quickly that maybe you'd do a 6-minute mile.
Roger Bannister.
Yeah,
Roger Bannister Gulman.
4-minute mile. Chariots of Fire, and then
the words to Chariots of Fire. A bunch of guys running, dressed in white shorts. It's the best I come up with on short notice. Monty, leave me alone.
It's something like that was my favorite Bill Murray character. Was the lounge
Star
singer?
Wars.
Station Bar Wars. Please let our wars stay. Come on.
Bass boost,
and then shuffle.
But don't shuffle. Wow.
Yeah.
Wait, shuffle?
Yeah. That's where shuffle on iPods came from. The origin was...
But an iPad has like 1,500 songs in it.
That's the joke that I do.
Yeah, I know.
I would say.
Jesus Christ, we're the worst comedy team of all time. Let's go back to your childhood, you depressed prick. Did you grieve for these Matchbox car men?
Well,
who was the greatest guy you ever had to bury?
There was one funny car. It was like a funny car, and the guy's name was the Mongoose.
Yeah,
I think he might have been a real funny car guy, and this was like
the Mongoose.
And he was the only guy with a real name. It was something McEwen.
Yeah,
something like that, and he was
Mongoose McEwen. Yeah,
Mongoose McEwen
was
always the subject of the. And then the other great thing was that I would use the other cars as kind of a funeral procession.
Yes,
to the funeral for the Mongoose, who much like Willie the Wimp was buried in his car.
wasn't that car funeral, weren't you always just reenacting?
Stop.
I love you, brother. Let's
love
go
you
back
too.
in and play with the baby.
All
Hey,
right.
look, go see Gary Gulman. He's super funny. He's one of the guys that you create Last Comic Standing for.
Oh.
He's the guy, the Gary Gulmans and the Bert Kreischers, the guys where you go, these guys are way too funny not to be on television as themselves. And thanks for coming. I thought we were going to, I wrote down all these funny topics, but this has been a great fucking eye-opening podcast. And I think I have a second career of being Roy Firestone.
Wow. Yeah.
Did I bum you out or you feel good?
No. But the thing that, because I've had this podcast in my head thousands of times, just driving around of you and I and what we would talk about. And one of the things was that to this day, and listen, I don't sell out theaters and
I don't either.
20 shows and all this business.
I don't either, believe me.
Most of the people who came to see me, and I'm talking 80%, most of the people who came just to see me, and that's the best thing you can hope for as a comedian. More than, I was never about movies and acting and everything. I just wanted people to come see me, who weren't there to see a comedy show, who were there to see because they had the same
You're the reason
the same
they've
sensibility.
assembled.
Yes. Those people who are so valuable to the psyche and just as an artist, people who are there to see you, 80-90% of them came because they saw me on Last Comic Standing.
Yeah.
And they'll come and say, we've seen you 6 times, we've seen you 8 times. The other thing that's great about people who see you again and again is that it gets you to write. Because you feel guilty. I'm going to do the same. I'm going to truck out
double
the same
stuff,
crap.
same
for these
price.
people.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I remember you made a conscious decision going into the quarterfinals of Last Comic Standing. It seemed like I'm only going to talk about cookies for the next 5 weeks.
Maybe it was the only topic that lasts. What I've always been good is taking a joke that works and making it longer. So, yeah.
Shuffle on iPod is the worst because you go, oh, Alice in Chains, Dirt. And then the next song is like Ella Fitzgerald, a tisket, a tasket. You're like, no, we kind of established a mood already.
Yeah, but
Ugh.
also it's
I'm
like
lifting weights to tisket, a tasket.
Yeah, it's Velvet Underground and then Fresh Air with Terry Gross, and she's interviewing the author of the 6 Days of War about the 6-day war in Israel.
And that's 40 minutes long.
And that's 40 minutes long.
Thanks for joining
and
us.
You're trying to run.
I'm
Terry Gross. I always have a recurring nightmare that not a nightmare.
And then, wait,
one of these
I have
things.
the fantasy where you hit fast forward to keep the shuffle going, and the next one is, welcome back, I'm Terry Gross.
No, that I go on Terry Gross, which is like, one of those.
This your
weird
nightmare?
dreams. Yeah, I go on Terry Gross, and filling in for Terry Gross is either Dave Davies or David being Cooley.
Or Jerry Gross.
Oh.
Those two.
Mark Gross of Family Ties.
Wow, the
That
dad.
was his name? Or Stephen Gross? Whatever his name.
The father from Family Ties.
Yeah, the father
What
from
about-
Family
okay, No.
Ties.
Filling in
Who
for
was
her.
so funny on that show.
Filling in for her is Mark Price
Oh, Skippy
from Family
Handelman.
Ties. Who signs autographs, I love your guts. You will never be as sad as him.
Oh, no. No.
I think we've come out the other end of the rabbit hole and we see light now, realizing, wow, that guy had a sitcom and he signs autographs. I love your guts. I get to just write Gary Gulman.
Yeah.
Me, personally.
Yeah.
I get to write Gary Gulman.
Yeah. Right.
What's Shuffle like on a
It's a huge mystery. You don't know what the fuck is coming up next when you hit shuffle on a Discman. Every time a song ends, it's a cliffhanger. Which one of these songs is going to pop up next? Which one of these songs? Which one of these 10 songs will entertain me next? If it's Rocket Man again, I'll shit myself. I will shit and it's Rocket Man. Oh my God, what are the chances? 10%.
1 in 10. To quote the Foo Fighters, 1 in 10. Don't wanna be your monkey wrench. That song is about your Discman bit. You have more light around you than you have any idea. This has been Mohr Stories. and do it like a psychopath.
It's always tempting, right?
It is a great bit. Bass boost. I love it, Gary. You don't have to do
means
the
a
bit,
lot
but
to
will
me.
you just resent your brother? I'm being completely serious. Oldest brother, middle brother.
Both of them lived in that room.
That's the room where everything was swinging and going great. I'm gonna fucking fill that room with thigh masters and bullshit. Fuck that room, because that room is the room in this house where everything was running like clockwork. And now I'm gonna fill it with shit. Tell the listeners what features it had. This is the high wire act now.
It had.
What if you were in a movie where this was the swing your character does? You're the clown crying to shove it up his ass.
Wow.
Right?
Perhaps. I mean.
All right, do the Walkman bit. Let's go.
No. Discman bit.
That'd be amazing if you just